Don't be contentious. In a world where controversy has been given a place, a greater place than what it honestly should in some areas, we can be deceived that humility is for the weak. In all honesty, humility gains life, it gains favor, it gains an ability to love from a healthy place, and it ensures that we are aligned with the Father correctly, which is vertically, and we then have an ability to hear clearly from Him. And I don't know about you, but we definitely need to be able to hear from the Father, especially in the times that we are living in. James 4:10 says, "Humble yourselves before the Lord, and He will lift you up in honor." And so today, as we encourage each other to not be contentious, I want us to remember humility is key. When we look at what contentious is, or some of the definitions of it, we see that it is the opposite of wisdom. It is the opposite of peace. It is a place where the enemy has a legal right to come in and to cause distractions, ultimately destroying our God-given abilities and desires. Without pride, fighting and strife would end quickly. What is pride? It is an arrogant confidence. It is a haughty self-importance. Though it is very vital to know who you are and to have confidence in who God has created you to be, when that confidence becomes perverted and arrogance and boasting becomes your reality, you're in a danger zone. And contention may have a legal right to come in and to taint your character, and maybe even affect some areas where you once had favor, and affect them in a negative way, I mean. But wise men and women are humble and prudent. What is prudent? Prudent is a person who exercises wisdom, foresight, and sound judgment. They carefully consider the consequences of their actions, and in some cases, the actions of all in that environment. To sum up being prudent, it is someone who uses divine wisdom, self-control, and the ability to correctly discern right from wrong. They want to align vertically in God's truth. A wise person avoids strife. But a person consumed by pride, they love strife. They love causing discord and arguing without regards to the peace of others. They're contentious. Being contentious is a heavy, heavy task. And most have no clue that they are contentious. The spirit of pride has a way of laying dormant until the best time, well, the most inopportune time to shine. And that shining leads to disaster, division, and ultimately destroys the ability for unity and love to flow correctly. Let's look at a person who is contentious and what that may resemble. Being contentious is a person who has emotional outbursts. They are constantly criticizing, whether it's indirectly or directly. Sometimes this person may be prone to substance abuse and, at worst, self-harm. How does this impact the relationship with others? At first, it may be calm and beautiful, but at some point, when this spirit shows up, when pride has a legal right to consume, it's chaotic and it's ugly. They constantly push people away. They're abusive and offensive, whether it's intentional or unintentional. Sometimes hurt people hurt people. That's why it is vital that we get the help that we need mentally, emotionally, physically, so that we can allow God's light to shine through us. Oftentimes, when we are contentious, there is a battle with self-esteem, and we've given a place for fear that sometimes consumes the place that we should have had for faith. Again, the signs of a contentious person: constant negativity, defensiveness, prone to manipulation. Proverbs 29 and 23 gives us some wisdom. It says, "Pride brings a person low, but the lowly in spirit gain honor." There are blessings for obedience, and there are also punishments for disobedience. Leviticus 26 and 19 shines a light on the punishment for disobedience. It says, "I will break your proud spirit by making the skies as unyielding as iron and the earth as hard as bronze." That is a covenant curse for us when we choose to be disobedient. It symbolizes severe, prolonged droughts and just failure in areas where we need to be successful. It's an unyielding atmosphere of despair and a hardness that, honestly, nothing has the power to break through. But thankfully, there's grace and mercy. And when we yield to the power of God and His love, His redemption, and His hope, then we can break that hard ground and it can become soft and productive again. Pride comes before being destroyed, and a proud spirit before a fall. That is a warning from Proverbs 16 and 18. But for some, it's wisdom, because you've decided, I'm not going to allow pride to consume me. So that's just a beautiful reminder of, if I do, this is my reality. Remember, we can turn from our unhealthy, evil, unprosperous ways and trust God. We can allow God to give us provision and reset us in His truth. We can trust Him to restore us and guide us through any hardship. And we can allow God to be our comfort in the times of uncertainty and pain. And most of all, when we allow to align and be vertical in His truth, we can understand that God will honor that sacrifice and bless us as we obey. God's love is everlasting, and we have everything that we need to rest in His light and to avoid being contentious. I pray that you were encouraged today. And more than anything, love, remember, you have breath in your body. So get up, trust God, and try again.